Hello everybody and welcome to another tutorial. In today's lesson, I'm going to be showing you how to add pictures to your website, and as well, you're going to be learning how to add hyperlinks. But we're also going to do a quick recap about yesterday's tutorial, so that way you can have a really clear understanding in how HTML works. Remember to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, everybody, so yesterday I showed you how to do this website right here, which it's a pretty basic website, but it pretty much allows you to add headers, right? We add headers to it. We add a paragraph. Actually, we added 3 paragraphs inside, and you were able to see the basic structure of HTML, which includes a doc type, then the HTML tag, the head tag, and the body section. But today we're going to use W3 School so that you can have a really good understanding in how HTML works. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's open w3schools.com. Here we're going to start learning HTML, so let's just click on learn HTML. So HTML, as it says here, it stands for markup language for web pages. So it's hypertext markup language, and HTML5 is the latest version of HTML. So here we're going to skip this lecture because what we are taking a look in here is just pretty much a couple of references, HTML elements, and some other stuff that we're going to see later on in this HTML course. So what I want to show you, it's our next lecture. So let's go ahead and let's click next, which is the introduction in what HTML is. As it says here, it stands for hypertext markup language. And it's a language that is used for creating web pages. Now, this language describes the structure of the web page, as it says here, and it has several elements. That way, the browser is going to be able to display these elements, and we already saw some of them, like the heading part, the header elements, the paragraphs elements, and today we're going to see some elements to add pictures and also hyperlinks. So a simple HTML document, here is the example. If you see this example and you see the code that we wrote down in here, it also has a doc type, right? It has an HTML tag, it has a header, and it has a body section. And then, of course, the closing tag for HTML. Now, let's take a look at a closer explanation in what each of those things mean. So first of all, the doc type. The doc type, which you can see here, let me just put this restored. Okay, there you go. So the doc type, as you can see here, it declares and it defines that this document is an HTML document. Okay, so this tells your browser, hey, this is an HTML document. That's what it does. That's why we go ahead and we type this in here. Now, the next element, which is HTML, is the root element of the page. Okay, so is the root. It pretty much always has to start with HTML, and it has to close with /HTML. Then we have the head element. This element contains meta information about the HTML page. I'm going to show you a couple of examples in what a meta information is. But first, let's take a look at the example that we built yesterday. So under the header part, you see here, this is a head. This is the head of our website. And right now here, we have a title element. And let's go to it. So the HTML, we said that is the root element. Then the header is the element that contains meta information and information about the web page itself. Like as an example, the title, as we can see here. And the title element specifies the title of the web page. which is shown on the browser's title bar or in the Pages tab, which is this thing right here, what we saw on yesterday's video, right? Like an example, this title, this website title is Introduction to HTML. Now, our website, the title is My First Web Page, and you can see that display right here. Okay, so now let's go to the body. The body element defines the document body of your website, right? So it's where it contains everything that the user will see. It says here, see, like visible contents such as heading, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, table, lists, and much more. So the body section is displayed in the example that we created yesterday, like this. You start with body and then you finish your body element with a /body. Right? And inside of the body section, we put a couple of header tags. We put also a couple of paragraph tags yesterday. So here, as you can see, H1 is the element that defines a large heading, which is the example that we saw here, like on my first web page. The hello world, it's an H1. Right? Then this hello world is an H2, and so on and so forth, H3, H4. So that's what H1 means. It's header 1, header 2, header 3, header 4, right? And then we have the P tag, the P element, which is it defines the paragraph. So in other words, when you put P and then you close the P element, you can input a paragraph inside of the P tags, right? So as you can see, we have one here, another one here, and another one here. And all of them are open and closed with the P element. 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, now, as I explained yesterday, the P tag doesn't actually allow you to display the paragraph like we wrote it down inside of the P tag, because it'll simply do like one big line. Like if we minimize this, you see it's only one big line, what it displays for each P tag. So how can we convert this or how can we space it out or break the line? It's very simple. Let me show you right now. Like if I want to show this first paragraph with spaces, then I will go ahead and I will input a BR element, which represents a line break. You see right here? So that's what it is, a BR element. So if I apply a BR element right after this sentence and I save this and then I refresh my page, you see what had happened? Now it created a line break. So it allows you to simply go ahead and separate or just pretty much separate this paragraph from the upcoming, not the paragraph itself, but pretty much creates a line break. Okay, so we can do the same for all of these that we have created here. So let me just maximize this and I'll do a BR, a line break on every single one of them. Okay, so just allow me 1 second. We're going to copy this and we're going to put a line break on all of these. I'm going to save this information. Let's save it. And now the first paragraph is going to be shown as the way that we wrote it down inside of the P tags. Okay, and a line break, just so you know, doesn't need a closing tag like P, like /BR. No, we don't do that. This is just a line break and it doesn't have like a closing tag. Okay, so I'm going to refresh now this, and there you go. Now it shows a paragraph with line breaks. So that's how you do it, in case you were wondering. Okay, okay, so let's go back to the quick recap. So an HTML element, as it says on W3 School, is defined by a start tag, some content, and then the end tag. So this is an example: tag name, then the content, and then another tag name, right? The end tag, which is the one that we use with a slash. And as a very good example is all of these that we see here, except the BR. So like an example, the title one, title, and then the content is my first web page, and then the closing tag, which is /title, right? then the HTML element is everything from the start to the end of the tag, right? So is this right here. So this is the element, okay? It's everything from the start of the tag until the end of the tag. So this is the element right here. My first heading, that's the element between the H1 tags. There's another example like this one, my first paragraph, okay? So there you go. So a start tag, H1, my first heading, P tag, my first paragraph, and then BR, it says none because as I explained before, it doesn't have an end tag, right? H1, it does with a slash H1, P, it has a slash P, but BR doesn't have anything. Why? Because there's no content inside of the BR tag. So there's no reason for you to have a closing tag. There's not going to be any information inside of BR. I mean, BR is just to tell you, hey, this is a line break, period. I mean, we're not going to put something inside of the line break. So that's the reason why it doesn't have an end tag. And it says that here. So some HTML elements have no content like BR. Because they're called empty elements, they do not have an end tag. So they don't have a content, in other words, right? So the start tag, the element content, and then the end tag. Okay, so here are just some web browsers explanation. And this is a really great thing that you can see, which is the HTML page structure. Okay, you see here, this is the entire HTML site. Then we have the header, which is this portion right here on top of the website of the web page, and then we have the body section, which is what we see in here in this section. So you can go ahead and actually check out W3 Schools, and you can go ahead and check out the HTML introduction lecture, and it's going to be very useful for you so that you can see the exact example. Okay, now what I'm going to do right now is move to the next lecture. And let's go to HTML editors, okay? And this is something that I already explained a little bit, that we are going to be working with Visual Studio Code because it's very easy to use, and it allows you to automatically close tags, and it does the job to create a website a lot easier. However, you can also use your notepad to do a website. You can also use Node++. You can also use Atom. You can also use, there's one that is called Brackets. So it's up to you. For me, the best one that I prefer is Visual Studio Code. So I'll leave that up to you. If you want to work with your notepad or something like that, it's totally up to you, okay? Everyone will give you the same results if you're coding well. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's move to the next lecture, which is basic examples of documents. Okay, so this is the lecture where we want to be at today, because I told you guys that today we're going to be adding a link into our website, and this is how we do it, okay? This is the example. We are going to use the A tag to create a link. And we also have to use an href to declare what's the link that when the user clicks on it, it's going to go to, okay? So an href, what it is an attribute, in other words, which is inside of the A element, okay? So we're going to do this right now in our text editor. So how to add a link? Okay, so let's say that as an example, when a user starts reading here your website, we want them that whenever they see this word, we're gonna change this by click here, just to name it. I mean, it can be any word, to be honest. But let's say that it's explaining something and we want them to click here. And when they click here, it takes them to another website. So in order for these to happen, what we're going to do is follow this example. Okay, so we're going to use the A tag. Let's use this. So I'm going to put an A tag. okay? And we're going to use a reference. So href. And then you see how beautiful Visual Studio Code is. It already autofills for me the equal sign, and then also it does everything for me. So that's why I like it. Okay, so you have to follow the href with an equal sign, okay? And then you also have to put these in there as well. So what are we gonna put inside of those two is the link where we want our users to go to. So let's say that I want them to go to YouTube. So let's go ahead and let's type in here YouTube. Okay, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this with the entire HTTPS. I like it better doing it with the HTTPS, but you can also just simply do it with www.youtube.com, okay? So I'm just gonna copy the entire thing. So let's copy this. We're gonna go here and we're going to paste this. Okay, so we are going to put the link inside of the quotes, okay? So let's do HTTPS www.youtube.com. Now, once you have finished putting this into quotes, the next thing that it tells us, the example, is that you need to close the tag. Okay, so we're going to close the tag, and see, Visual Studio Code automatically gives me the closing A tag. Now I am going to delete it because I want click here to be the word that when they click on it, they simply go to YouTube, right? So now I'm going to close it. I'm going to use /A. Whoops, it already did it for me. So, okay. So this is what you have to put before and then closing it after the text where you want your users to click on so that they can go to certain website. This is how you add a link inside of your website. So what I'm going to do right now is save this information. We're going to go back to my first web page right here. Right now, as you can see, there's no P tag, and I'm going to maximize this, by the way. Okay, so right now there is no reference because I haven't refreshed the window. So I'm just going to, I already saved the information here, by the way, by hitting Control S, and now I'm going to refresh the window. And there you go. As you can see here, now we have the click here button available for us. So let's see if it works. I'm going to click on it, and voila, it takes me to YouTube. So you see how easy it is to add a link into your website? That's how simple you can put this. Okay, so let's go back. And now I'm going to show you how to add an image into your website. Okay, so to add an image, let's go back to W3 Schools. To add an image, you're going to use this tag right here, IMG. Okay, and you have to use an attribute which is called SRC, which stands for source. Okay, and then here it has some other attributes, but I am not going to explain you that right now. We're actually going to talk about those other attributes later on. All I want to show you today is just how to add a freaking image, okay? And it's probably going to be a big image. So let's go ahead and let's find an image first here on the web. So let's find an image about nature images, okay. Okay, so this is a good image. Let's just open it up. Okay, that's a good image. So I'm just gonna right click on it and I'm going to save image as. Now here I will save this under the HTML folder that we created to work, okay? So I'm going to open my folder, and inside I want to name this image nature, okay? Just nature. And as you can see, it's a JPEG image, JPEG image. So just remember that because it's very important for what we're going to do next. So the image file is going to be named nature. So I'm going to save it. Okay. Now our image, it should be in our HTML folder. I'm under the HTML folder. If you can see, we have the index file here, and also we have the nature image. Okay, perfect. So that's all we needed. Now we are going to code so that the image can appear in our website. So what do we do to have that done is very simple. First thing, we're going to use the image tag. Okay, so let's open here our Visual Studio editor again, and I want to add this image right after the line break that we put inside of the paragraph. Okay, in fact, let's do something better. I'm going to add it outside of the paragraph. Okay, I'm just going to add an image right after the first paragraph. So let's do it. We have to use the image tag. Then it says here that we have to use src, which is the source of the image. So we're going to hit space and then we're going to hit source. And it automatically gives me equals and the quotes signs. So inside of this, we have to put the name of the image .jpg. If the image is JPG, if it's PNG, then you have to go ahead and put PNG. Whatever the file format is, that's what you're going to put after the dot, okay? So in our case, we saw that the image is JPEG, so it should be JPG. And the name of the image was nature. So inside of the quotes, I am going to put here nature dot, and you see Visual Studio Code's giving me the image already, because Visual Studio Codes, it detects that inside of the folder that we are working, there's already an image named nature.jpg. Okay, so I'm going to select that, or you can simply type it in, it's the same thing. And once you have typed in the image, we are going to close the tag. I am not going to do anything else. I'm not going to add the alt attribute. I'm not going to add width, nothing. Okay, I'm just going to use the image and that's it. So image source, and then we're going to close the image tag. Okay, and that's it. So now we're going to hit save. There is no closing tag, by the way, if you're wondering on this one. So we're going to hit save, and we're going to go to my first web page. And now we're going to hit refresh. And boom, voila, there is the image right after our first paragraph. Now you can see an image inside of our website. So see guys, that's how easy it is to add an image here. Now what happens if you use the other two attributes? Well, alt stands for alternative text, which what it does is going to give you some text for that image. Width is the width of the image, and then the height is how tall the image is going to be. That's pretty much what it says. So if we go ahead and we copy all this after the name of our image, let's do that. I'm just going to copy that, and I am going to paste it right after the quotes. Okay, adding all 1, 2, 3, 3 more attributes. So what is going to happen is that our image is going to change. The size is going to change. The width, the height is going to change. The width is going to change. And then we're going to have w3schools.com here as an alternative text. So let's just go ahead and hit refresh. Oops, I'm sorry guys. I have to hit save here. And now I am going to hit refresh. And there you go. That is how the image now it shows. You see, it changes. I mean, it changes the entire image size and everything. Okay, so that's how you do it. And that's how you go ahead and add an image and you modify it. Now here, I'm going to delete all these because I don't want to confuse you right now with this. When we take a look at our tutorials for CSS, I'm going to explain you better how you can modify images and you can make beautiful websites with CSS. But for now, let's just focus on HTML, and we're not going to use those alternative attributes nor none of that for now, at least. Okay, so I'm going to save this and let's just refresh and let's put the image back to how it was before. So that's it, guys. That's how you add an image into your website. Now, one more thing that I am going to teach you today, it's how to take a look at a website source code. What is a source code? This right here. This entire information that we wrote down is the source code. That's the coding that you did inside of your website so that your website can demonstrate to the user this information. So our source code is how we speak to the computer or to the web browsers in this case to tell them what to show to our users. Okay, so that's a source code. Every single web page has a source code. How can we take a look at it? Let me give you an example. I'm going to go to a website called example.com. Let's hit enter. And this is just an example website, okay, that was created just for that simple matter, just to show us an example in what the source code and everything of the website is, right? So I'm going to take a look at the source code and see how this website was created, because if you can see here, I mean, it has a header, it has a paragraph, it has a link with more information, it even has this white box, and it has like a gray background. So all these, it's actually including some CSS. So I'm going to do a right click in any place here inside of the website, and I have to click only view page source. Okay, that's how easy it is to see the source code. So we're gonna click on view page source, and there you go. This is the website, okay? This is how this example domain was created, like this website was created. As you can see, it has a head. Well, first the doc type HTML, then it has HTML, and it closes with HTML. Then we have the head. And inside of the head is all these, and it finishes here. So all these is the head of the website. As you can see, it has some meta information. This is what I was talking about meta data that you're going to see inside of the website. I'm going to explain you that later on, okay, so don't worry. It has a title, which is example domain, as you can see is example domain, and here it has a style link, which is associated with a CSS, so with a cascading style sheet, okay? And it has some information here to modify the background, the size of this box, the colors, and all that good stuff. That's why I was telling you not to worry about alternative attributes inside of HTML, because when we take a look at CSS, I will explain you how to do all that, okay? So that's where the header ends, the head section ends, I'm sorry. And here we start the body section, which has a div, which is this portion right here is a division. It's like a segment of the website. It has a div, and inside of the div, it has an H1, a P tag, and an H reference. And then the div is closed, and the body section is closed, and then your HTML site is closed. So that's it. That's how you can take a look at the source code. And if you are very curious about this topic, feel free to deep more into W3 schools. Here you can find really great resources. It's free, and it's going to be super useful for you that are just starting to learn HTML. So that's it, everyone. We are done today with this tutorial. I hope you liked this video. If you did like the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. As well, remember to subscribe to my channel. I am uploading videos daily for you to help you out in your journey to become a web developer. Also, don't forget that if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. I always answer your comments as soon as I can. And remember that you can always ask Lixi. Bye, everyone. See you again in another episode.